All right, you can see local history through a different lens, and you can also discover stories about the people and places and events that defined daily life in the new book, Vintage St. Pete and Pinellas, Volume 4. It's the latest in the series by author Bill DeYoung, who is here with us in studio today. Welcome.
Hey, how are you?
I'm great. It's great to have you here.
I'm happy to be here. I was in this studio last in the 1970s.
Oh, really?
This very studio for the Russ Bird Morning Show when I was about 17.
It's changed a little bit, huh?
Little bit, little bit.
As St. Pete has as well.
You're much nicer to hang out with than Russ.
Well, okay, well, I'll take that.
Kind of an old guy.
So congrats on Volume 4.
Thank
That's
you.
really exciting. Tell us about this volume and just what it is, what you were able to discover with this one.
Well, to explain really what these books are, they are really just snapshots in time in St. Pete history. You know, history takes a lot of forms. You can talk about how the city was founded, how it was planned, how the Bayfront was set up, but there are other parts of history, and this is about daily life in St. Petersburg during the 20th century. So there are 23 stories in this book, and they're not really themed. It's all kind of random things. And I like to look at it this way. You take the history of St. Petersburg as a timeline, put it on the wall, throw a dart. You say, okay, 1951, this is when there was a case of what they called spontaneous combustion in St. Petersburg.
Oh.
That's in the book. 1966, boom, that's when the Science Center was built. So the whole backstory on what the Science Center was. I'm a St. Petersburg native. It started with things that I remembered as a kid or later, and it progressed to all the tourist attractions that were here pre-Disney. And then I would go back over and I would find out about things that happened in the 40s and the 50s that are just, there's no trace anymore. So it's nostalgic and it's also kind of informational. It's a lot of fun.
Did you find a lot of things surprising when you were going through and reading these stories?
Sure I did, yeah. Especially the things that don't exist anymore. It was like, oh, this was a big deal to people in the 40s and the 50s. And you know, when 4th Street was the main thoroughfare in St. Petersburg, there was a lot of entertainment businesses down there and things like that. This particular book talks about, as you see from the cover, the history of shuffleboard.
Yeah.
We go into what shuffleboard was, and the St. Petersburg Shuffleboard Club is 100 years old now.
Right.
So there's a sort of a history of that. There's a history of the Fountain of Youth, which started in the late 19th century down by the Bayfront. There's a whole history of how that happened.
Is that still there, or any remnants of that down
There's
there?
a remnant, sure.
Okay.
It's a very, you have to read the book.
You got to read the book,
Allison.
and then you can.
It's a very long and complicated story.
So that's what we're looking at here.
That's yeah, sure. This is Keith Moon from The Who playing at the old Bayfront Center in 1967. Oh, this picture, Jimmy Buffett sitting in at the Keg and Cork pub with the Mad Beach Band in 1977. There's the Science Center building.
There's so many things that if you are, what is this? Is this the?
That's the implosion of the Serena Hotel in 1992. They imploded it. It was a circa early 20th century hotel that was blown up and included in a film called Lethal Weapon 3. Huh. What I uncovered was that it happened so late, there was so much negotiation with the city and the developer that the movie was almost done by the time they finally did it and blew it up and got this great footage. So they stuck it on after the credits. So if you're in the theater and you stay and you watch, then you know Mel Gibson and Danny Glover are like, oh, this hotel's gonna blow up.
Yeah.
Boom, end of film.
Yeah. What do you want people to take away after they read this book?
I think it's a fascinating look at the way St. Petersburg was, and you know we use examples from the past to talk about where we are now and who we are now. So anybody who either lived through some of these things will find it deeply nostalgic, and anybody who's new to the area will discover things that this town's been vibrant for many, many years.
Yeah, it has. How do we get this book?
It's a Tombola Books.
Okay.
I think it's going to be a book and bottle within about 10 minutes because I was talking to Dominic
Good
a little while ago.
connection, yeah.
You can get it through stpetersburgpress.com.
Wonderful.
And it's on Amazon.
Well, great. Well, thanks for coming by and sharing it with
Thanks
us.
for asking me. I'm grateful to be here.
Yeah, good to have you. Thank you.